Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Mugs podcast. We sadly have been away from you wonderful people that don't listen to our podcast, but you should listen to our podcast. We've been away from you for 2 weeks, and a lot has happened in that 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So much so that we even got news from today.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, let's just kind of just say, man, uh, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about MJF. We're going to talk about stuff this week. We'll bring up last week's stuff just because goes together. We didn't get to give our opinions on last week, and I'll be honest, we did not see a lot of this shit going in the direction it did. A lot of it I'm happy with. Some of it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Some of it I could give a fuck about.
I can barely remember what happened last week.
Well, doesn't matter at all.
That we missed talking about. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We don't remember the Dynamite this week, so we're just gonna sit and give our shitty wrestling takes.
Yeah. Well, that's what we usually do, anyways.
No shit, right? But let's yeah. Well, let's start off with talking about Jeff Hardy, because the current events, Jeff Hardy, because it came out today that Jeff Hardy is got arrested last night. We're recording this Monday evening, so last night, Sunday. Yeah,
Sunday the 12th.
Well, it would have been. He was booked around midnight, so technically it's Monday, but Sunday night. Jeff Hardy got booked with a DUI, and he also was driving with a suspended license.
Damn.
Yeah. The thing is, man, it's rough because we need to wait for, in my opinion, some details come out. I guess it's not going to really matter because, he had a DUI. This is the third one in 10 years from what is shown.
That suspended license is
I don't know what's going on in the dude's life. I don't know what keeps him going this route. But what bugs me is there's a lot of wrestling fans who they're kind of being dicks about it. They kind of like some of them were kind of laughing at it, like, "Oh, Jeff, you got another DUI. Fucking quit wrestling because it's clearly what's causing you to, do drugs." And it's like, you don't know this man's life.
Yeah, dude, he was probably doing drugs and drinking well before he was a wrestler at 16.
But what I am gonna say, but in seriousness, what I am gonna say, on the other flip end is, for the guys, when Jeff got fired from WWE, that was like 6-7 months ago, and we saw him leave in the middle of a match, and we all kind of thought he was fucked up. We were worried about it. From what I heard, he had a drug test that came back negative. And so a lot of fans kind of were just saying, well, his family said he's okay, so y'all need to just stop. I think you got to take it a little bit with a grain of salt and just, send your best vibes, dude, and hope that he does good. I don't know what's going on with his life. Everybody uses for a different reason. Some people use it to cope. So I guess, and he's a good guy. A lot of people that know him personally in interviews speak highly of him.
Right.
And the other thing is he's our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of breaks your heart to see that, this guy that you really like, you really respect, and you can just see he's hurting. You can see he's going through it.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy was my childhood. He was the first thing that I ever liked about wrestling was the Hardy Boys, and specifically Jeff in general, just because he was just so cool. He was so cool. Like, when I was a kid, when I'm growing up, and even still now, it's one of those things where it didn't matter what he did in my mind. And it's still that way now. I'm one of those fans where it's just like, it doesn't matter what he does. He'll still be that hero of mine from when I was a kid. I never once, I can see the bad things and I can see he's going through it and it hurts. But at the end of the day, man, I can't get over that. He's still my hero. I don't care what he does. I don't care if it turns out that, he's doing these things because he's just a junkie and needs rehab and all this other stuff. Doesn't matter to me because he'll still be my hero.
Well, I mean, I
It will
look.
still, it will, in my mind, regardless of what he does and what happens, he will always be that hero of mine that I cried very hard when he lost that CM Punk feud. When he left WWE the first time, or not the,
Yeah,
it
that wasn't
definitely
the first time.
but like
No, that wasn't the
that,
first
I think it
time.
was his second TNA run was when that happened. It was during the,
I think you're right. I think that was right before when Hogan and all them started with TNA.
yeah, no, that was the same run, but it was,
Right.
I'm pretty sure this was the Road to Glory run as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that was 2011, so that would have been.
But no, I mean, I cried, dude. I cried so hard because my favorite wrestler from when I was like 4 years old,
Right.
he was my favorite wrestler, and and he was gone, and I didn't know what to do because in my mind he was not wrestling anymore.
Right.
Because obviously I was too ignorant to think about other wrestling promotions.
You never know what's going through. You never know what's going through a man's life. I mean, anybody's life, especially these celebrities. He may look like he's got a great life. We kind of envision everything like he's got everything. So why would he want to do drugs? There are a lot of people, not necessarily Jeff Hardy. People say that, but I've heard that about a lot of people with issues of some kind.
People used to say that about Mac Miller, and I know that has nothing to do with wrestling because he was a rap artist,
right? But that's a guy who had issues.
In songs, he had issues, and there was always a thing of like, you live in this big house and you have a lot of money. What do you have to complain about? You know what I mean? And it's like, dude.
So I mean, right now,
it burns you out when you live that life for so long. It burns you out, and he's going through it. And you know what? Respectfully, full on respectfully, whatever demons are going through that he's going through right now, I truthfully and honestly hope that he gets over it. Because it's at the end of the day, he's my hero, and I would hate to see that happen.
I hope he does. The other thing is, and this is just the part you gotta acknowledge why, like, we're praising Jeff Hardy and we're hoping for him to do good. But the other thing that we kind of gotta talk about, which is kind of an elephant in the room, is this isn't his first time. I think, like we said,
far from it.
This is his third DUI in 10 years, and I think he's had some before that. The thing you gotta hope he gets help, because the problem is with DUIs, sometimes people get hurt. Now, thank the Lord, knock on wood, Jeff Hardy has never hurt anybody with any of his DUIs. Yeah. But there was a wrestler who very recently did. Sunny. She killed a guy.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, she killed the guy.
Yeah, I remember seeing that story. Was very confused because it's like it's one of those things where you're just like, wow, it really can happen to anybody. You never even think about it. These people, when they fall off, you think like, oh, that they just fell out of the spotlight, and shit like this happens, and you're like, fuck.
It's better in this generation just because there's an audience for a lot of people who used to be famous.
Yeah.
To kind of, I don't want to say live off their popularity, but they have their own niche little audience that will like them. And I mean, you get that on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Right. They post little stuff and they have a little audience, but
yeah, I mean, it's the same with that, like steering away from wrestling again and just kind of paralleling, using them as analogies or similes, more like just to compare the two. It's like the Ezra Miller thing that came out a couple of days ago about him, kidnapping and disappearing, kidnapping that teenager and disappearing.
Yeah,
I mean, like
I'm not a big DC guy. I'm not into superheroes that much, so I didn't really know who this guy was until you showed it to me. Yeah, but
it's one of those things where like he's in movies and stuff, and then they didn't do much afterwards. And from what I can tell, he has only had bad publicity, anyways. But this one takes the cake, I think. You know what I mean? This is the one where it's just like, oh, fuck, I did not think that he was mentally capable of doing something like that. That's going to be, not to bring up a Smiling Friend reference, but not only are you blacklisted, but you are completely deplatformed.
Well, from what the reports on that motherfucker, lock that motherfucker up, throw away the key.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. But anyway, back to wrestling.
Let's get back to wrestling.
Jeff Hardy, I'm sad. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I was... Again, I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan, and again, I'm respectfully, I'm not judging him for it. Right. It's one of those things where I was not surprised that it happened. I wasn't, because granted, he's had issues, and as a fan and a very big fan of him, I've known that. You know what I mean? I'm not, and in my opinion, it wasn't going to cloud my judgment of it.
I mean,
I was gonna look. I always
look,
look past it.
we always knew Cable. I guess the hope was
Yeah, that he was
because he was over it because when he had the issue before, and WWE then did which by the way,
every
please, for the love of God, I hope do not do any more Jeff Hardy fucking
drug addict
angles.
alcoholic.
They've been done to death. They're all the same,
and they're all in bad taste.
The only guy who, because we know it's going to happen, the only guy who we can really expect to do a drug, maybe not even an angle. Like, I don't know if we would do a whole storyline, but it would be comments. It's going to be MJF because that's his character. He makes those fucked up edgelord comments. It gets the crowd going.
Right.
We know it's going to happen. We just wait for it. It happens. We can let that go. But like with the Young Bucks, don't bring it up.
Don't.
If it's anybody else, leave it alone.
Yeah. I mean, it's really that. I 100% agree, dude, because it's like it's been done to death, but it's just in such bad taste. I mean, I know the idea. It reminds me of because it's one of those things where like when you bring reality into wrestling, which sometimes it works, but then you got things where it's like the fucking Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. We're gonna fight over Dominic match.
Are you kidding me? That was like one of the coolest fucking. You didn't like that? I love that.
I hated it, dude, because it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, you're making it so real.
Well,
another one is
kind of
another.
Okay, on that end, though, but that's kind of cool.
Dude, what about freaking Buddy Matthews grooming Rey Mysterio's daughter? I'm like, dude,
she was an adult.
I know. I was making a joke.
Oh, I get.
Thanks for that going.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Jokes in poor taste. But
yeah, I thank you. I'm a connoisseur of poor
then
taste.
You better be lucky nobody listens to this show.
I'm very, dude. You wait 10 years when this show takes off. They're gonna be like, he said this 10 years ago, and we're still.
And I am going to throw your ass under the bus. I am going to.
Cody.
I'm going to be on Fox News.
Cody. Listen to me. All right. How are they going to cancel me? I don't use social media.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Facebook says it's not true.
What am I going to hire a publicist? Wrong. No thanks. They can't cancel me if I'm not platformed. Okay, I don't have a platform like this. They'd cancel the podcast, and even then, we would. Me and
Weston would not appreciate that. If you haven't noticed, Weston's not here. He's not just sitting quietly.
Yeah, no, we're both in. Me and Cody,
guys, I'm here. I'm Weston.
It's me. It's Weston.
No, love you, Weston.
Yeah, right. He'll be editing this tonight, probably.
he's gonna text me. Oh,
thanks for the shout out.
Thanks for the shout out, guys.
You guys are so nice.
Took like what? How long are we into this? Like 15 minutes, probably now.
Yeah, just about 16. Either way,
yeah.
It's one of those things, man, where I'm not, I don't have, besides just pure gratitude for him as a person, because I don't want to give him anything other than love in situations like this, because that's, in my opinion, it's what he needs. It's what he deserves. I am giving him good vibes. I'm shooting him his way. Well, because I don't want to see Jeff Hardy go down the gutter like that.
One comment I want to make before we go into the next part of the Jeff Hardy thing. One comment I want to make about Jeff Hardy, why you're saying like he needs nothing but love, is what is there other than this? When I look at a DUI, there are a couple people that do DUIs. There's some of them that are like the asshole, and we won't say who they are, but we know people who are like this, that are assholes that like to get drunk, go drink and drive because they're assholes.
Right. We won't mention any names, but
we know exactly who this person is. They don't.
About Cody, but yeah,
Weston. No, but
yeah. Yeah, Weston. No, not mentioning any names. Weston.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, but anyway, we know guys that are like that. They get drunk, they act like assholes, and they do DUIs because they're assholes. Yeah. And then there are people who do it because they have issues and they can't really. They don't want to make bad choices, but they end up making them.
Doing it.
And to me, I
want to believe.
I want to believe that's Jeff because I don't know the guy. None of us do. But nobody really has negative things to say about Jeff Hardy, at least none that I've heard.
No.
The dude doesn't really have any allegations against him. People really only talk about how great he is. I think the worst complaint people give is that he has one of the stiffest moves in wrestling.
Yeah, and I mean,
And he has gotten more cannonball as the years go on.
Like, because it's really weird is that like people would say that back when he looked like it was safe to take. Like I remember looking at it being like,
he looked like he did a ninja roll.
Yeah, I'm like, how does he finish people with that move? I mean, I guess it looks cool, but how does he finish? It looks like he just lands on his ass and they don't even fucking hurt.
He gave one to Jinder Mahal.
Oh my god!
Terrible. If Jinder Mahal wasn't so jacked that I'm sure he fucking caught Jeff Hardy in midair with his biceps.
Dude, not even his biceps. He just strengthened. He just stiffened his core and just lifted him off his body. Just was like, Jeff, yes, I took the impact and I'm putting it back into you.
The modern day Maharaja feels no pain.
Yeah, the modern Mahogan, Jinder Mahogan. That is
that okay.
Should we talk about that?
I mean, I'll briefly. I'll briefly mention the joke just because. Yeah. He said Jinder Mahal because in Hulk Hogan, I read and said once that he sees Jinder Mahal being the next Hulk Hogan. So on my 2K game, I gave him the entire Hulk Hogan do-over, the entrance, the gear. Hulk Hogan's his manager, and he's the new Hogan, and I call him Jinder Mahal. And then I downloaded Jay Lethal with Black Machismo, and they're the Mega Powers.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty dope. I like it. But anyway, but Jeff Hardy, great. Now, we got to move into the next part, and this is all speculation. We're just speculating here. What do you think is going to happen with the match this Sunday? Because I didn't check. I'm gonna check right now. I don't know if they've really said what they're gonna do in terms of the triple threat match. I don't know if they're waiting to see if they can get him out of jail and get him to the arena.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't heard anything, but I'm crossing my fingers because that match was gonna be fucking sweet.
Oh, dude, I mean, you talking about a triple threat ladder match between the Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, and the Hardys? That was gonna be for the tag titles. Like that would have been dope. Yeah. And I'm pretty positive that Jurassic Express was going to go over, so it's not a real big deal.
Right.
Maybe the Hardys could, because it would be a good match to get to, have them get the belts without like Jungle Boy. I guess they wouldn't have pinned Jurassic Express, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, but then you have to do the Hardy Boys getting a title would only just be like, oh, so they got the title. Like that would be the only reason they would get it. And then it would be that thing where it would hit a ceiling immediately. And then it's like, well, what do you do? Are you going to give the belts back to Jurassic Express, or are you going to give it to somebody else? I mean, Jurassic Express's title reign has not been like tremendously long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they haven't been champions as long as like some of the other tag champs were. And and speaking of which, I will say that I feel downright insulted at the fact that Lucha Bros were a transitional champion. The Lucha Bros, they were a fucking transitional champion, dude. They were the ones who...
Yeah, they weren't champions long.
They were champions for like a month and a half, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's why
who'd they lose it to? Because they beat the Young Bucks. Oh, it was Jurassic
Express. Yeah, they beat FTR.
God.
And then they were both AEW and a AAA title champion or whatever. They were AAA tag champions.
Right.
And then they lost the AAA titles to fucking...
Why did I think the Jurassic Express won it from somebody else? Huh.
There hasn't been any... It was FTR lost to Lucha Bros, and Lucha Bros lost to Jurassic Express. And FTR, I think, got it from the Bucks. And the Bucks got it from Kenny and Hangman.
I guess.
And then Kenny and Hangman got it from SCU.
If anybody does listen to the show, please feel free to call us out on our shit, because I apparently...
I mean, you could ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
You could for sure ask Jeeves.
It doesn't matter. We'll keep going. But, yeah, okay, so if they were going to win the belt, it's not happening now.
No, they would look fucking AEW.
Right now, Jeff Hardy... okay, if they can get him to the show... and he's good. This is just me personally. What I would do is I would tell him, go out, do the match. If you're in good condition, you're sober and everything, go do the match. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you get injured to take you off TV for a couple weeks. let this shit kind of blow over. Because, I mean, when it comes to the shit with the court, that's going to get worked out down the line anyway. And I don't think they're going to keep him off TV till that's done.
Right.
But I think I could see them taking him off TV for maybe a month and a half.
Let the publicity blow.
Let it die down, and then he comes back. Because you'll get people mentioning it when he comes back, but it's not. Nobody's gonna care anymore.
Right.
And
because something else.
Because what then you could do is you could have basically the Young Bucks fuck with Matt Hardy for a month.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are guys
and then as Matt Hardy's getting choked down in the ring, Jeff Hardy could come out and do his dance down the thing. Be like, my brother's getting choked out, but I want you to know it's me.
Full West Side Story dance fighting.
While my brother's getting choked out. Weston, insert the meme gif. Him doing it on his debut. Because that was so funny. That was so fucking funny. Because I noticed that too when he did that. It's just like, dude, your brother's getting choked out. Why are you?
But he's like, oh, it's my debut, guys. This is my thing that I do. Yeah. If you'd never seen Jeff Hardy before.
He came out. He's like, it's me, guys. It's totally me.
It's me.
I'm going to go to the ring.
Your favorite neighborhood wrestler, Jeff Hardy.
Your favorite charismatic enigma himself.
Oh, God.
Oh, it was funny. Anyway.
Well, but we talked a minute ago about with Jeff Hardy, the only guy that we could, I'm okay, like I can accept doing a
around 20 minutes of Jeff Hardy.
Jesus Christ. On the gig, the only thing that I could imagine doing the drug angle of making drug comments was MJF.
Yeah.
And by the way, MJF had a big thing happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Weston next week. We'll talk about it. Let Weston give his opinion because I think he definitely should. Yeah, it was the biggest thing in wrestling.
It was.
MJF.
The pipe bomb.
The pipe bomb. Some people, I've heard a few people call it the greatest promo of all time. I'm sure that'll be debated. But
yeah, I'm gonna say that's debatable. Because I don't think there's the greatest of anything. Because there'll always be something better. There'll always be. It's a matter of opinion. Yeah.
But what happened was, well, let's start from the beginning. Once upon a time. Story time with Adam Cole, baby. All right. So what happened was, apparently this goes back to March. And what was reported in March was that there was a confrontation between MJF and Tony Khan. I didn't know this when this happened. I never read this.
Me neither.
There was a fight, and I think it had to do with his contract. MJF made another comment not long after in the ring talking about how, oh, y'all don't want to talk about 2024? Don't worry, the guy in the back doesn't either. So he's making contracts that and kind of getting the air out that there is a conflict between them over his contract. And the way that it's being explained is he is upset because he has been there since day one. His he's under the same contract he had since the beginning, and he is not getting paid the same as the WWE guys coming in.
Yeah, he wants more.
He wants more money.
Rightfully
now,
so,
what they
too.
say,
Rightfully
well,
so.
yes, but what is being said is Tony Khan is willing to do that, but Tony Khan wants an extension. MJF doesn't want an extension. He wants the money, but in 2024, he wants to do a bidding war. He wants WWE and AEW to bid over him.
Right.
Which we'll get to in a minute because that is actually very important in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe not to what's going on, but I think it's an important point that we all got to focus on.
Yeah. It's definitely a surprise tool we use for later.
Yeah.
We're gonna get sued.
So what happened was then we get to the weekend of Double or Nothing. MJF no-showed he first did a tweet, something along the lines of, I don't want to be here anymore, or fuck this place.
You're paraphrasing.
Then, yeah, I'm totally paraphrasing.
No idea what he actually said.
But that's for the gist of what he said.
Right.
And then he no-showed a fan meet or greet. And apparently they could not meet and greet.
Meet or greet.
Meet or greet. You can either meet them or you can greet them. You just walk up, shake their hand, you don't say shit, or you can say, hi, MJF. That's your choices. If you try to do both, we're going to beat the shit out of you and charge you extra.
MJF will whip you with his belt. You have to stand there and take 10 lashes. Bang! No flinching.
And when you don't sell, Antonio Inoki comes out and beats the shit out of you, kicks you in the face.
Oh my God, Antonio
Inoki! Thank you. I'll be here all night.
Oh my God, dude!
Wait, there's the drums over there.
That that fucking match is hilarious.
Oh, no.
You
But you
can't-
gotta
you
no,
can't.
you
I am
you
the
can't
great
just watch the match.
Antonio.
You can't just watch the match. You gotta let Bill Burr commentate on the match.
Yeah, you gotta let Bill Burr do. Oh
Anyway.
my god, dude, it's so fucking. Stop kicking the shit out of this guy. I
Okay.
fucking love that video.
Okay,
so
before we get sidetracked, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
he no-showed the event.
Yep.
And then there was rumors, it was apparently disproven, that he had gotten plane tickets to leave.
Yeah.
Vegas. He showed up for Double or Nothing, did his match. They put him in a neck brace, brought him out.
Yeah.
Now we get to Dynamite. We covered that in our last episode.
Yeah, I also want to point out something that did you notice that they applied oxygen to MJF's eyes?
No.
They put the face mask on him, and they were like right over the nose and his eyes. They were like, boop.
I did notice that. So that's funny.
It's so fucking funny, dude.
That's funny.
I saw it in a Botchamania video that came out like last week or something. He pointed that out, and I was like, they did apply it to his eyes. I thought it was like just his nose, but no, that went right over to his forehead. They were like, this clearly is a face mask. I'm gonna put it right over his eye sockets because that's what needs the oxygen most.
So
he's crying, so he needs the swelling to go.
All right,
down.
I'm gonna hurry up and finish up the recap because goddamn, we can't get through the recap. We've already gone off twice.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. But what happened was then Dynamite. Then we get to Dynamite. He comes out and he cuts a fucking what seemed like a shoot promo.
Yeah.
He goes on to say he doesn't want to be in AEW anymore. He is the second most minute for minute draw. He
called Tony Khan a fucking mark.
Called Tony Khan a fucking muck, a fucking mark, and then he said, "Fire me." Said you
Fire
give
me,
all the
you
ex
fucking
WWE,
mark.
yeah. And now what has happened since then?
Nothing.
They have taken MJF's name off of the website. His merch is off of the AEW shop, and he
hasn't been on TV.
Wasn't on TV. So what they're doing is they're giving you the impression that he is fired. And they just haven't announced it.
I wouldn't say fired. I think they're giving him the impression that Tony is punishing him.
Yeah. By the way, that was when I think the Turner Broadcast is merging with Discovery or whatever the fuck. I don't know. They're doing some merger. There were executives there that night. I know that. I know that was another thing. So
yes, that is another hidden surprise tool we'll use for later, I guess.
What
the bidding war?
So
is that time for now?
Well, before we get into that, let me ask you.
Yo.
Do you think it's a work or a shoot?
I am under the impression that it is a work. Okay. And I think the reason why I think it's a work is because you can just call it a pipe bomb, and it's the same with the CM Punk pipe bomb, right? It was a shoot promo. Everything that he said was real.
Right.
However, they must have planned him to go out there and do it. I'm not under the impression that all of this stuff and all of these situations are probably real life things that he's frustrated about. But I guarantee Tony gave him the green light to go out and make that and just say do whatever you want. Say whatever you want, because at the end of the day, that's the shit that gets ratings. And I guarantee behind the scenes, Vince McMahon gave CM Punk or Triple H.
Well, it was said. No, that's not even a secret. CM Punk admitted that.
Yeah, well, of course he did, because if it wasn't, they would have cut his
WWE put it on his. They made the DVD where CM Punk says that.
Yeah, because it's like it's one of those things. Yes, that promo was probably a shoot. Yes, it was a pipe bomb, but it was booked to be a pipe bomb.
Right.
There's no way in hell that he would have just gone out there, taken up all that TV time, and they didn't mute him.
Well, no, I think like what some people think happened, because there are some people who think it is a shoot. What some people think happened is he was supposed to go cut a different promo, and then he went into business for himself at the beginning. That doesn't make sense to me.
No,
because
they would have cut his mic immediately.
Well, no, they would have never sent him out there if they didn't know he was going to do that. Here's what I mean. Let's say that this was real. Let's say that Tony Khan had a wrestler who no-showed meet and greets, who had been expressing legitimate frustration with the company, who wanted more money but wouldn't sit down to negotiate, and then he no-shows an event, you can't call him. There's fear that he's going to walk out on you from your pay-per-view, the biggest one of the year.
Right.
There's fear of this. And then the next fucking show, you're going to let this dude have a mic and you don't know what he's going to say, whether he's going to play ball and cut the promo you told him to cut or go into business for himself. That's not going to fucking happen.
No, God, no.
He'd be a moron. And I don't care what anybody says. He's not a moron.
No, God, no. And that's the thing is that, dude, at the end of the day, and I hate to admit it because I am a mark when it comes to this, is that I respect heels, I respect heel work, and I enjoy that side of it. But when I'm watching wrestling, you're just like, oh, fuck this guy, which is their job.
Right.
And that's why I respect it, because they're doing their job good.
Right.
He is the best heel that I have seen in my life. And I mean that in the sense of I was born in 98, and ever since I started watching wrestling at 4 years old, I have never hated a heel wrestler more than Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and that demands respect.
Let me say this: what amazes me about MJF, why I am a stan for MJF, and I have been. I've said it before in this podcast. I'm not one of those dudes that fucking became a fan just because he did this.
No.
I loved MJF from the first time I fucking saw him because the homie was young. And his in-ring work, his mic skills, he just had everything. And he was able to deliver matches, promos, as if he were a 10-year veteran.
Right.
And this dude was in his early 20s.
Right.
He is now one of the biggest things in AEW. WWE.
I disagree with that. He is not now. He always was. They booked him at the top of the card for everything. All of his things, because his heel work was so good, they booked him at the top.
But
his first big heel move was when he turned on Cody.
Well, when he was with
that shit skyrocketed into the moon. No joke. That rivalry alone, because he was a heel when he was by himself, and then when he was out with Cody, he played face, and it was weird, and everybody thought it was weird. And then he threw in the towel, and he cost Cody a championship, and the whole shebang, and that whole promise thing. And that's why when anybody brings up that stipulation, I think personally that it was a great stipulation because it heightened that rivalry. MJF took Cody's chances away to getting a championship, and it made sense that rivalry.
Here's the problem. I hated that because to me it's just. It was a dumb thing. It felt like an
ego stroke.
It did because you had Cody telling the fans, "Look, I put a stipulation myself. I can never be champion, so you never have to worry." Because apparently the fans were worried about him booking himself as champion. Okay, well, what I don't understand is why is Kenny Omega okay? He's high up in that company. Why were the Young Bucks allowed to be the tag champions? Well, why was Cody Rhodes the one guy that everybody was afraid of?
It wasn't okay. So, but I think the reason why they were worried about it is because he was the first title defense.
Who was?
Cody. Oh. Chris Jericho won it from Hangman episode 1, and then he defended it against Cody. And people were afraid that he was going to book it for himself because I said that. I was like, I guarantee Cody Rhodes will probably be champion by the end of the year. But then he did the stipulation, and I was like, okay, maybe he's just silencing the haters. But then the MJF thing happened, and I always forget that was the match because, in my opinion, that's the one that made MJF. That's the one that made him a star in AEW. That's because that's the turn. That was the first turn that was real. That was because he was always a heel, but when he was with Cody, he wasn't. It was weird. It didn't make sense. And they always were like, "Oh, we're going to blur the line of heel and face." He solidified himself as a heel, and literally ever since then, everything that he's been in has been the best heel work ever. There's not a single person on any other wrestling promotion, in my opinion, that is a better heel than MJF.
No, absolutely not.
There's not.
And that's why WWE wants him. They realize like that dude is 26 years old. They can fucking get. I mean, look at it. They could get 15 years out of that dude, and it will just be prime fucking work.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude could go into his 40s. Knock on wood, God forbid some type of injury. But if he could go into his 40s and be remembered as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things where he as long as my fear with him going to WWE, and a lot of people's fear, like when I see it on Twitter a lot. I go on Twitter and see wrestling tweets and stuff and go through things just to see the freaking sheep, following the flock and everything like that. And I see them all the time. And I kind of agree with this statement. This isn't a sheep post because nobody fucking posts this. This is like a very rare post that I see, which is always, yeah, MJF's going to enjoy WWE without the creative control. Because they won't. WWE always has creative control with all of their wrestlers. That's how it's always been.
Well, no, you don't mean they control the okay.
WWE always have creative control over their wrestlers.
Right.
So MJF's not going to be able to do everything that he wants to do. And that's why I am always like, I'm afraid that if MJF does go to WWE, he's just going to become Ethan Carter the third.
So you want to know why I 100% disagree with that? I can make a good argument against that. So my argument against that.
Sure.
Look at Cody Rhodes right now. Well, minus the injury. Look at Cody Rhodes right now.
That poor boy.
Cody Rhodes. You know what? We're gonna give praise to Cody Rhodes because that was a fucking badass Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. And you know what's funny?
I'm proud of you. The fact that he worked with a torn pec.
Yeah, I'm proud of you because I would have thought you would have been like, a torn pec. You should have been at home with your wife, you freaking egotistical maniac. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you know what? I'm gonna give. Look, yes, I'm not crazy about him because I think he is just begs for attention, begs for love. But I'll give the man credit. That was awesome. But what I'm gonna say is, look at Cody Rhodes. They let him come from AEW with his character, with his logo, his music. Everything he was in AEW, they said, come to WWE and just do that. MJF is the biggest minute or the second biggest, I'm from what they said, minute for minute draw. He gets eyeballs.
Yeah.
The only thing
first
did
they say
I have zero. I don't know. I maybe CM Punk.
I guess it would make sense.
But MJF, they're gonna let MJF do him. What they're going to do, and the only thing I believe they control is he can't make the super offensive, edgy comment every week. Will they let him do it? Yeah, they'll fucking let him do it. My evidence for that, they had Paige tell Charlotte Flair, made a comment about her dead brother to her face on Raw. They do shit like that. They'll go there if they have to, but they spread it out because they are trying to please their sponsors, and their sponsors aren't going to want to hear the super crude shit every week. So you're going to get the same MJF, but it's going to be kind of spread out. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think he can cut promos within those parameters. I think he can have matches in those parameters. I think he could, if you gave the man a mic, he would become the biggest heel in WWE within a month.
Yeah. I am just worried that he'll become EC3.
Okay, but the other thing I'm going to say is AJ Styles.
I'm still worried that he'll become EC3.
I don't, dude. I think right now, with the fact that they are trying to get the AEW guys there, and they're seeing the actual success in letting one of the big stars of AEW be his own AEW self in WWE. I think they're going to be open-minded to that. I
am just afraid that old tricky Vince, old do-rag Vince.
What up, G?
Excuse me while I whip this out. All right. I'm afraid old tricky Vinny, all right, will maybe pull an EC3, all right, because that man did amazing heel work when he was in TNA. When he was Ethan Carter III, in my opinion, because at the time, there was not another person on the planet that I hated more than Ethan Carter III. I despised him, and goddamn fucking what the fuck is his name? Stupid fuck Cowboy Spud or whatever, Rockstar Spud.
Rockstar Spud, yeah.
I don't remember what his WWE name was.
It was, goddamn,
Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick, thank you.
Dude, you know what was the funniest shit in the world? And I laughed.
That WWE fired him twice and they fucking retired him twice.
No. Listen, because you're going to laugh your ass off. Do you remember when he managed the Authors of Pain?
When he pissed himself?
No, God,
They
no,
kept
that's
making
not-
jokes every week about him
That's
pissing
not.
himself.
That's not. I thought that was in bad taste because piss jokes in wrestling are stupid. That's too childish for you. We're in the PG era, and you're gonna bring up piss. That's irrelevant. That's not what I was gonna bring
I
up.
mean,
No,
they chopped off a dude's dick once.
I know, and that was hilarious because it was the '90s.
No, that was horrifying.
They came. Triple H, Katie Vick.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say about that before we get canceled. Anyway, so Drake Maverick when he was managing Authors of Pain instead of his suit that he usually would wear,
Mm-hmm.
and he came out first, and it was the funniest thing to me because he came out alone. So it was like the Authors of Pain, and then like the title card came out, and it was just little Drake Maverick in his stupid little fucking stupid vest and pants, and I was like, there he is, the titular Author of Pain, Drake Maverick, and yeah, it's me, and I'm like, you look like a fucking idiot. You are so. Oh my god,
Hey, don't disrespect him.
dude, it was very funny.
Well, man, let's. I don't know. Do we have anything else we wanted to say? Oh, we did want to talk about the we said we'd come back to it. The bidding war. So the thing I want to say with the bidding war is wrestling fans, a lot of people are kind of getting pissed. They're like, you don't want to be in AEW, you realize it ain't so great on the other side, and then you want to come back. Okay. One of the reasons we as wrestling fans wanted there to be another show is to create competition for the WWE. We wanted we wanted WWE better, but we wanted the wrestlers to have another place to go. If WWE is shit and everybody else is smaller, then AEW is the only place to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that Tony Khan's ever going to become Vince McMahon,
No.
but you basically just replaced one monopoly with another, at least in that mindset of the fans. What you want are for the wrestlers to finish their contracts, then say, I'm going to be a free agent, just like athletes in sports, professional sports do.
Right.
I'm gonna play the field. I'm gonna see what teams want me.
Right.
In WWE, they're gonna offer MJF a shit ton of money. AEW will come back and offer a shit ton of money because the wrestlers, that's what they need, guys. They love wrestling, but there is an end date. And the thing with wrestling is it's about making as much money as you can while you can.
Right. I am under the impression though that when it comes to AEW, or at least in my opinion, what I want when it comes to AEW, or what we were talking about, how you said like the wrestling fans wanted competition from WWE.
Right.
What I wanted was with AEW was to maybe, and honestly, Tony Khan's been doing this. He's been. It's really the sponsor, the brand partnerships that he's been doing. Really is what I'm kind of bringing up. I saw AEW and that whole their whole thing, their performers, everything about it, and enjoying it and loving it, and thinking to myself, "Wow, this is a really cool thing," and I am excited to see what the rest of the wrestling community will do with this other competition, because they were something that when they came out, it was very new. It was very important. I felt like a kid again watching wrestling the first time that I watched Dynamite and watching wrestling on AEW stuff. I felt like a child again. I hadn't felt like that in a long time watching some of these matches.
Right.
You know what I mean? John Moxley versus Kenny Omega, the unsanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
The one where they dragged through broken glass and shit. I felt like a child watching these matches. Like, oh my god, I have no idea who's gonna win. Oh my god, And it was something that was really missed in WWE and a lot of other wrestling promotions. And I wanted this thing to be just almost like an inspiration where you think to yourself, well, these big wrestlers come to AEW and get big. When you're talking about bidding war and free agents, I would love to see some big wrestlers use this opportunity and think to themselves like, okay, in the same way that some sports teams will do is, our team sucks. Let's hire in a star to draw eyes.
Well, that's what
I know,
AW,
which is why I was saying at the beginning, I'm bringing up the brand partnerships because that's exactly what I wanted
Right.
with this company.
You wanted these super partnerships.
I wanted them because it's exactly what Forbidden Door does, like with Tony Khan. Because originally, all right, AEW had partnerships in plans with Ring of Honor. I believe it was Ring of Honor, Impact.
No, now they're more than partners.
Now because they went bankrupt, but that was nobody knew that at the time.
Right,
you know,
right.
they had planned cards with these companies, but New Japan was the one that didn't. It was the one out of the big three that were already existing, mid card shows or whatever, the small ones,
Right.
small promotions that didn't partner with AEW, right? And so with Forbidden Door, it's that idea of, okay, now they're partnering with New Japan, which is a big deal to me because I fucking enjoy New Japan talent. And it's the idea
I don't
that
watch much New Japan. I don't really watch it.
back in the day, it was so cool. Back when Kenny Omega and the Bucks were there, that was the shit.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke Nakamura was there, and Kota Ibushi.
Well, let's
anyway,
let's finish this so we can get on to the
right.
next topic.
The reason I bring it up is because it's something that I wanted to see, that whole wrestling multiverse thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because these big stars that are really big can go to other promotions, and those promotions can get more viewers and more money because it's like spread the love. We it's like they don't realize, and this is something that I don't think WWE has really grasped yet, which is the amount of lucrativeness. I don't even think that's a word, but the lucrative profit that you can make from not buying out a company, but partnering with them.
Yeah.
If AEW and WWE partnered with each other, all right, because again, that's just what is the end goal of this Forbidden Door, I guarantee, is Vince McMahon to show up on Dynamite and shaking Tony Khan's hand or vice versa.
You know damn well that's never going to happen.
Triple H would do it, though.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, he would.
I hope he would. I don't want to say he would. I hope he would. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe.
But that's the thing, is that branching out, okay, is so freaking...
Well, what I would have done...
It's so beneficial for both
if
companies.
They could have at least gotten NXT to do it. They tried to dabble with it when NXT did their show. What was that company? Austin Theory was. They got Austin Theory from them. I don't remember what it was called. But it was some indie group. But that would have been cool if they could have had if they could have ever done the Wednesday Night Wars when NXT moved. If you could have then done a partnership with an Invasion and shit, but. Let's move on, man. Because we got to talk now.
I personally think that that's endgame stuff. By the way, I think that stuff is
that you think that's where Tony Khan's trying to go with this
with Forbidden Door. Absolutely. I mean, dude, he's just been talking about the Forbidden Door. Tony Khan allowed, and I'm going to say allowed. I guess allowed wouldn't work, but either way, Cody Rhodes left. All right, there was nothing he could do, and he's not. He hasn't been talking shit about it. I think down the road, long term, if this company can survive long enough, and I'm not saying that because of saying like survive long enough for Vince McMahon to die, I just mean survive long enough for them to gain notoriety, that they could do a partnership with WWE and break down the final barrier.
I get you.
Because at the end of the day, dude, the amount of money you can make in that, it's just ridiculous if booked correctly.
Well, you know what is booked correctly by the looks of it? Something that hasn't been booked correctly for a while, but maybe it might be booked correctly now. That's the TNT Championship.
I am a little bit excited that you brought that up. Are you talking about the one man versus 20 powerbomb fest that's about to happen in a couple days?
God.
Oh my God, we're about to see a murder.
Okay, I'm actually glad that we skipped last week. This is the only reason I'm glad we skipped last week.
Yeah, you got a lot to say
because Wardlow. Okay, so I was not gonna lie, I didn't attack it because I was like, let's see how it plays out. But I was worried when Wardlow's first match as an AEW superstar. You can't see the quotations I'm making with my fingers, but I am.
Yeah. Superstar.
Right. He basically had a match with that Winnie the Pooh looking dude. I can't remember what his name is.
I don't remember who you're talking
I
about.
don't know.
Oh wait, is it Kevin Owens' dad?
Yeah, Kevin Owens' dad.
Yeah,
So
freaking fucking what's his name? God,
he had the match with him,
Winnie
squashed
the Pooh
him,
looking ass.
squashed him,
Absolutely squashed.
and then he went.
Joe Dirt.
Then
Larry the Cable Guy.
Smart Mark
Larry the
came out
Electrician.
and he said, he's being sued by. I don't even think that I heard somewhere that's not even a real thing. I never looked it up. The company that's allegedly suing him, the security guard group.
Yeah, well, dude, why would it be a real thing?
You're right. WWE had a whole rivalry over a fake shampoo commercial. Do you remember that? You ever heard of that?
No.
Oh yeah, I think it was Booker T and Edge had a rivalry over who got to be in this fake shampoo commercial for Japan.
Oh my God.
I'll have to show you that later.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
I'll have to show you that later.
I bet they played it off hilariously. Was that Ruthless Aggression era or
probably? Yeah, I think it was the early 2000s.
Yeah, that was Ruthless Aggression era.
So anyway,
it sounds like a Ruthless Aggression era bit.
when a WWE video game storyline comes to life.
Yeah, for real.
But anyway, so
for real, dude.
He's getting sued by the company because he's been beating the shit out of security guards. I'm sure there are a lot of
sue anybody. Sue Tony Khan for booking
Stone Cold Steve Austin sitting at home like, wait, we can get sued for that?
Yeah, right. Stone Cold's like, I beat the shit out of police officers. Fuck, I should be in jail. That's
he did go to jail.
That's a federal.
Shawn Michaels went to jail for that too.
Yeah, which one of the? There are so many people that have done this, but which one? I think it was Stone Cold. Stone Cold is the one who got arrested and then came back in the jail transport.
Yes,
driver's seat. Yeah,
I think so. Or like that was Dean Ambrose, right?
No, Dean Ambrose came back in the ambulance.
You're right.
He stole an ambulance.
So anyway, he's getting sued, and then this week Wardlow said, "I don't want to be in the tournament because I don't want to fight for the interim title. I want CM Punk's our champion. So until he comes back, I don't want it. I want to fight. He wants to fight CM Punk.
He don't want none.
Which we want to see a second match with him fighting CM Punk.
Yeah.
But he called out Scorpio Sky. And he wants to fight Scorpio Sky for the TNT Championship.
That belt would look good around his muscular waist.
Now, next week, or this Wednesday, he is going to be facing 20 of the security guards in an elimination match. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a gauntlet match or if it's going to be like 20 guys on one side of the ring and Wardlow by
the other corner.
I mean, probably what's going to happen is they're all going to be in the corner. He's going to power bomb one, pin him. Next guy comes in, power bomb. Going to kind of be shit like that.
20 power bombs.
Yeah, probably going to be shit like that.
Yeah. It's going to be,
I think it'll be the first time you ever see 20 guys get squashed.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're booking him as a monster. Let him be Batista. It's great. I think the thing, though, with Wardlow that's going to be amazing, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be one of those things where they're all going to jump him, and then he's going to destroy all of them, and then there's going to be one scrawny little dude that he goes, you! And then he fucking powerbombs that guy 80 times, and the rest of the security guards go, and then you run away, because that's basically what happens every time.
Right.
And really, I think this is my opinion, even still, the match is probably going to be hilarious and awesome because that's just how he's been. The booking has been great for Wardlow, but I still think that this is stupid. And it's mainly because they involved Smart Mark for no reason at all. I think Smart Mark being involved with anything.
No, really didn't Wardlow powerbomb him a couple weeks ago?
No, he's the lawyer for the fucking group.
Right, but
I
thought he powerbombed him a couple weeks ago. I thought he was like he had a brief moment in one of the MJF promos.
I don't know, man. At the end of the day, him getting involved with stupid shit is just trying to make him relevant, and I'm not for it, man. It's not something I'm into.
Yeah, stick with Tony Nese.
Yeah, right. Stick with Tony Nese. At least that kind of makes sense, because
he's the man. It's the old school thing though, but that's the way it used to be back in the day. Is the managers didn't just they kind of bounced around with all the clients. I mean,
Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan, thank you.
Brother Love.
Dude Love.
No,
Brother Love.
Love.
No, Dude Love was
Mick Foley. I know.
Yeah, Brother Love was a manager. That was Bruce Pritchard.
Stevie. Maybe.
They managed all types of different guys, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't know. It seems weird.
He just is like he's kind of like Joe Bornstein.
I think this is just so that they can give him a good.
What's the lawyer man that's in every commercial? That's smart
remember.
Mark. He's all over the place. He's like, here's my card. Do you have insurance? You could sue for that and get a lump sum. You could be fairly acquitted for this money. You could get compensation.
I think.
Were you injured? And it's like, dude, I don't want you. He's everybody's lawyer, and I just think it's the weirdest gimmick. It's like
the 20. The security guard thing, I think it's just something to get over. I'm glad to know that because at first I was worried that was going to be a whole storyline.
Oh my god!
But Scorpio Sky versus Wardlow, which is really what matters, that is going to be fucking.
That's going to be great. Finally, something different. And you know what's awesome?
I hope he takes the belt. I know he probably won't.
Don't
but
let him
I
take
want
the belt, please.
Look, Scorpio Sky is a great wrestler. I don't want to. It's not against Scorpio Sky, but I am so that all that shit. Him as champion right now has a bad taste in my mouth because I had to endure this fucking hot potato storyline that made zero fucking sense with two different double turns. And I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna vomit.
So, look, I just want the belt.
I'm gonna vomit.
Get the belt off him.
He doesn't need to be champion anymore. Please don't let him have a run. And it's not against Scorpio Sky because at the end of the day, it's not his fault. It's the booking's fault. It's really the booking's fault. And it's one of those things where he shouldn't be champion anymore because it's like Wardlow said in his promo when he called him out. Better yet, there needs to be a change with the TNT Championship because somebody needs to bring honor back to it. I'm paraphrasing because I don't know exactly what he said, but again, that was the gist.
Now
he wants to bring something different and make it mean something again. Because at the end of the day, dude, they made it mean nothing at this point. The belt is only as big as the person whose waist it's around. All right, that's it. All right. If you fucking keep passing it back and forth and having everybody turn and then having this fucking clusterfuck of a fucking
that may have been one of the worst things I ever watched. It's because it didn't make sense.
None of it made sense. It was a clusterfuck. There was so many things going on, and then we stole the belt. Then we're gonna destroy it. Now you get a new one, and then it's like, oh, there's an intro.
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking unite them twice.
I'm gonna beat me for it, but then I beat you for it, and I'm now a heel. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm a face. But then next week we swap places again. It made no sense.
It made no sense. And at the end of the day, it makes me want the Brown Listerine to wash this bad taste out of my mouth. I don't like it, and I'm done with it. So please, Scorpio Sky, proudly hand the belt to Wardlow and get to the back of the fucking line.
But you know what I am not done with, and I'm excited about. It was amazing. It wasn't this past week. It was the week before, but we got to talk about it.
What?
God's favorite champion.
The return of the Redeemer.
Oh my God. But first off, poor Johnny Elite. Holy
Johnny Elite.
My man just shows up to get his ass whipped.
You did. But here's something else that I wanted to bring up because you brought up the Redeemer. He is still, in Elden Ring's terms, maidenless. Where is the hot wife?
I knew you were going to mention that.
Of course I was going to mention it. Where is this hot wife that you always mention, Redeemer? Show her to us. Is she safe? Is she okay? I know she is because she was there that night, as I saw on her Instagram. But hello?
I don't know, man.
I know if her Instagram says anything, she's been doing movies. I don't know.
I guess I don't know. I haven't followed shit she's done.
She was shooting something. She was posting stuff on her Instagram about it. I was a fan of Lana. I liked Lana.
Lana's good. But look, the promo he cut, it was kind of it was very biblical, ish, kind of. Yeah. I guess he wants to fight God.
He wants to fight God. Is it gonna be like WWE Shawn Michaels' favorite tag team partner?
The spotlight just shows up in the middle of the ring, and Miro's like, "Come here, you son of a bitch!" Yeah. Starts swinging on him. Take this, God.
dude, I just want to point out that is probably the most that entrance is iconic. of how just like it's that thing of like Vince McMahon is a fucking evil genius. Like he's a fucking like, idiotic genius. It's that thing of just like when you think about it, you're like, that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. But I can't help but laugh.
You're talking about like a
I'm talking
like with
about
God.
when he said, "Hey, Shawn Michaels' partner, God," and then
A spotlight appears.
heavenly fucking heavenly song, and then like a bunch of angelic heavenly fucking Titantron, and the lights go black and a single white spotlight. Dude, it was so fucking hilarious. I was at awe seeing it. I'm like, you were fucking joking.
Well, then you would love to know why they decided. One of the reasons it's being reported that they kicked Edge out of Judgment Day, because apparently they wanted to do supernatural powers for the guys in Judgment Day, and Edge was against it, so they kicked him out. That's allegedly. The other one that everybody thinks is because since Cody Rhodes injured, Edge is the only baby face they can have. Makes no sense.
None at all.
But so they had to kick him out.
What about King Ricochet? How about that?
But yeah, fucking Finn Balor's gonna lead the group, and I guess they're gonna be witches or something. But
oh my god! Oh, wow.
I don't know. That may not
Finn
be.
Balor is a demon inside him. He's a demon.
Well, that's what some people think, is that he's gonna have like the demon be his demon persona be the leader of I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's gonna be like, he's gonna do this thing where he's like, I shared my power with my friends. Now we all have demons. And then they all come out in the weird belts in a headband Indian dress that he wears with blackface. I mean, it's really just blatant, right? I mean, let's be real. He is blackfacing. That's a minstrel show right there. But anyway.
So now we got to move on. We got FTR. Trent Beretta basically challenged them to a rematch. And that was fine. But then let's be real, that's not really what we're here to talk about. I don't watch New Japan, but I've heard of this guy. I've seen a little bit of his stuff. I watched his match that he had on Rampage. Very good. I'm talking about Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, the man.
And Will Ospreay. I'm sorry. What's his group called again? I'm embarrassing because I don't watch New Japan.
Hey, Cody. I don't either, and I don't really remember. Aussie Empire. I don't know, some stupid like that.
Yeah. Either way, they came out. They did very well. Very much enjoyed it. That's gonna.
He is Will Ospreay is.
I'm imagining it's going to be FTR versus like Will Ospreay and I guess maybe one other of them. I don't know. I'm assuming that's going to be the New Japan AEW match for them at Forbidden Door. Yeah. I mean, they had the match on Rampage, but I imagine they're going to run it to
either that, or they're just going to have him versus Trent, or him versus one of them, or something, or hell, have him versus anybody else. I mean. You could
maybe they'll have a Stadium Stampede match.
Maybe, or maybe they'll have a guitar on a pole match. I don't know. Maybe they'll have a back of a truck hay bale trailer match like they did in WCW back in the day.
I don't know. The brass ring on a pole match.
Yeah.
Grab the brass ring.
That was the guitar in the pole match. Remember? Yeah. Grab the guitar and hit it with it. First one to hit it with the guitar wins. Do it to the death.
No, let's face it. They're going to bring back the Inferno match.
Oh, my God. Please
bring
back the Inferno match. No. It was so cool.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
They couldn't do much.
Can we get a real exploding death match? And, like, tell people in the front row, like, yeah, you should probably dip early. Otherwise, you'll be in the splash zone. And by that, I mean you might get fucking exploded because we're going to literally blow the ring up this time. Yeah. I love the comment that came afterwards. I don't remember who said it. I know somebody did. It was either like Tony Khan or like Dave Meltzer or somebody important in wrestling community, where they said the comment like referring to all the people who were complaining about the ending, where they would say like, "What did you expect? They were actually gonna kill them? Like, what the fuck do you mean?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I expected it. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them die. That's what I wanted. I
Don't you
paid money.
gaslight me, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly. It's like, dude, she's like, obviously, these fucking idiots are idiots for complaining about the ending. I didn't care. I mean, I saw it and I was like, that makes sense. And in my opinion, I thought it was hilarious that people were turning it into like they turned it into a work. They were like, oh yeah, we wanted to make you look stupid. And then people were like, no, they got the pyro from Impact. So funny. It was hilarious.
Hardy har.
Hardy har har. It's so funny. Ha 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 ha. I laughed. I was laughing.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. You know, bring back the fuck. I'm trying to think of like other funny WWE weird stipulation matches that they've had.
You know, uh,
What's the
Oh,
weirdest
there-
one that you could think of?
there was the was it the championship scramble match? Was that what it was called? Where you had like 6 guys in the ring, and like when you pinned them, you became the champion. And if somebody pinned another person got a pin, then they were the champion. And when the timer ran out, whoever was the current champion wins the belt.
Oh my god, that's wild. I mean, personally,
By the way, they only ever did it for one pay-per-view. They had 3 different matches. This was the first ever time they made this matchup. They had 3 different matches of that on the same pay-per-view, and then they never did it again.
that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
That was when it was pay-per-views and my parents were broke, so I didn't even get to watch it. I think they did one on SmackDown just to show people so that like, hey, maybe you'll want to watch this match, but they never did it.
That sounds interesting if booked correctly. However,
from what I remember, it was people said that watched it. They said it wasn't that great.
yeah, I mean,
but at the same time, it's like imagine the day that they invented the Hell in a Cell match, and then you had 3 different ones that night.
Yeah,
it's kind of like not that it wouldn't be cool, but it's like, yeah, you kind of oversaturated.
A little bit. I am trying to think of one that was really funny to me.
Well,
no, the back of the truck one. That way, have you ever seen that?
Back of the truck.
There was a match that was on WCW.
Oh, that was with Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah,
that was the highway. God, I forgot what it was called. It was the highway match, but yeah, they were beating the shit out of each other
in the back of
a truck,
it
full of hay bales.
And there was like chain links, so they were stuck it there.
Yeah, they were just
like,
and they were driving down the highway and they were moving and beating the shit out of each other. They had 2 guys in the camera. They had one guy driving next to the truck with a camera, getting the outside shot.
Man, they closed down the whole road.
Yeah, it's like you could tell they.
Like, all right, we're at the end of the track. Turn around.
You got one guy that it's like on his way to. You got one guy that's like, oh, I'm going to take a shortcut to go to work.
Yeah, right. Like, that one guy who lives in the middle who doesn't see the road closed sign is just like,
he got hit with a car and he's like, I'm watching WWE from now on, you motherfuckers. Fuck Nitro.
No, but dude, personally, the funniest, weirdest stipulation match that I could think of was probably the guitar on a pole.
No,
match.
you know what was worse?
What? The brass.
Buff Bagwell, Miss Judy Bagwell on a pole match or on a cage or whatever. It was Buff Bagwell's mom. They had her like, I don't remember if they had her on a pole. Oh no, I think they had her on a forklift. He had to like rescue. Yeah, he had to fight to rescue his mom or something. I don't.
That is
remember.
amazing.
But yeah. But anyway,
back the Inferno match.
Let's. I think let's move on though, because the next thing I want to talk about, man, is I think you're going to be the one that's excited about this. We're going to talk about Thunder Rosa.
Oh.
She had a match, defended her title. I think she defended. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, it was
against Marina Shafir.
Yeah, it was a mean lady who came out all stern.
I'm gonna be real.
I don't know who that is.
With Shafir, with the thing with Shafir that I'm noticing is they had the match with her. They had her match. She had a match for the TBS title not that long ago. She wrestled, and then the week before that, she wrestled in a crowd that was completely dead. Nobody gave a fuck. Then they had the next week match, the match with her next week against Jade Cargill. She lost that, and again, nobody gave a fuck. And for some reason, they're like, well, let's give you a match against Thunder Rosa. I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler, but the crowd was dead. They weren't dead for this match, but I think that's because of Thunder Rosa.
Well,
she barely wrestles ever, which is about to go into what I was the other part I was going to bring up, Thunder Rosa apparently is being reported is very unhappy right now with AEW because of the way she's being booked. They're really not giving her a lot. She's not wrestling a lot, and she just comes out. Tony Schiavone does an interview, and maybe somebody will walk out and she'll fight with them. But she's only had like 2 or 3 matches since she became champion.
Yeah,
that's what's being reported, and I've kind of thought that too. I've kind of noticed that. Yeah. I'm not saying you got to have a wrestle every week, but it seems like every week they just want her to cut a promo, not be a big part of the show. And you're the biggest woman, like that title, you're the biggest woman on the roster because you're the champion. And it seems like Jade Cargill, who is the mid-card champion of the women's, is getting more screen time and better stories.
Right.
And it just doesn't, it's weird.
Doesn't Jones.
No.
With the rest of the class.
But here's why I think you're going to like it.
Uh-huh.
Because
Toni Storm?
They are hinting that she's going to face Toni Storm in the next match. I don't think Toni Storm's going to win it.
No.
Because
it's too soon.
Too soon. And Thunder Rosa is not someone they're going to have a short run.
No. They should.
She's over.
She is over. It is a little sad that she's getting treated this way. But the way I see it, man, I think with Toni Storm, I think it's a good look, but I don't know how they'll book it because Toni Storm is also extremely over.
Well, Toni Storm can lose. She's not undefeated.
No, but it's one of those things where I'm saying it wouldn't be like some big end-all be-all match. It wouldn't be a pay-per-view match. It would be a Dynamite.
Well, yeah, we're not having. I don't think there's another pay-per-view until Forbidden Door. But from Forbidden Door, I think All Out's the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, but I meant like in the sense of like, for instance, next week is Road Rager. That's what this Wednesday is. Right. That's a big Dynamite. It's an exclusive Dynamite. They make it a big deal because that's how they do it.
I'm going to check right now because I wanted to see what. Yeah, go ahead.
But the point I'm making is, I don't think that's going to be a match that you would book to be a big deal. I don't think it would be.
You don't think Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm would be a big deal?
It would be, but not in the sense of like if Thunder Rosa got in a rivalry with somebody.
Well, Thunder Rosa, I think Toni Storm would be a great person. I kind of disagree. Who else would you have her compete against?
It's not compete. I'm not talking about, because that's the thing, is it would just be a respectful match between two respected things. It'd be like if she fucking faced Ruby Soho. It's a bland. There's no rivalry.
I get what you mean. It's just
right.
We're putting on a good match, but there's no substance.
Yes, exactly. There's no substance. All right, it's going to be a great match, but it's a fucking main event of Dynamite. It's not a fucking main event of Road Rager or Winter's Coming or some big fucking event that they would put on. You know what I mean? It's not a big main event thing. It's just a fake main event. And the one thing that else, sorry, I'm trying. My brain's having a fucking shit right now. It's that's it. Like fucking.
I'm looking right now. I was trying to see if Thunder Rosa, if they have a match scheduled for Thunder Rosa this week, because sometimes they like to just throw the title match at you, without building it. But
which is how I have figured.
I am not seeing it right now. Also, I just want to note, I guess I'm not. They posted 4 hours ago promotion for Dynamite, and I am not seeing the triple threat ladder match on here.
Uh-oh.
Not saying they got rid of it. It's just it's not on the post. Just says Dynamite, Road Rager. This is Wednesday Live. The hair versus hair match, which we will talk about in a minute. The handicap match that we were talking about earlier. Yep, with Wardlow. The All Atlantic Championship qualifier match, which we will talk about that in a minute. Yeah, and nothing on the ladder match. And literally one of the pictures is just live Wednesday, June 15th from St. Louis, Road Rager. Yeah. So I don't know if the match is off or what's going on.
Any of those people that are in the match?
Unless the only thing I can imagine is if they want to have the match, they could replace him maybe with Swerve and Keith Lee.
I guess.
I mean, they're not going to win. You could do if you wanted to keep it a triple threat, or have Matt go out and have somebody else be in it. I guess is like a substitute. I don't know. But anyway,
have Christian be his partner and be like, let's set aside our attitude era differences.
Yeah. But Thunder Rosa, I don't know, man. I think it'll be a good match.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another good female heel that could be champion.
I
But at
mean,
the end of the day, the really only heels that can be champion have either already been champion or is a current champion that isn't the world champion.
Abaddon, motherfucker.
Abaddon's not heel. She's literally like nothing. She's like the boogeyman.
Abaddon could be world champion.
No, she can't.
Yes, she could.
Not right now.
Yes, she could.
Cody, no, she can't.
Abaddon could be world champion.
Cody, when was the last time you heard her say anything?
I don't need to hear her say anything. She's
Okay.
amazing.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you right now.
She's like this perfect thing.
When was the last time you saw her on TV?
Probably the Dynamite we went to,
Probably. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
which was the Halloween edition.
Yeah, which was the Halloween edition of Rampage, baby. She wasn't even on a Dynamite.
Yeah.
It was Rampage, all right? And the table didn't break. And I shouted, I am the table, and nobody else did. And it pissed me off.
Yeah. But you know what pissed me off?
Who?
It didn't piss me off. But we're going into let's talk about Chris Jericho, because this week on Dynamite, I'm sorry, Road Rager. Jericho is going one-on-one with Ortiz, right?
Yeah.
And a hair match. You know,
a hair versus hair match, not just a hair match. What is a hair match?
Loser gets their haircut. Hair versus hair match, whatever. They call a fucking 6-man trios match. Okay, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Well, that's because it is trios. It's not a tag team; it's a trio.
I hate you so much. Okay, what do you think's gonna happen, man?
Again,
because that's leading up to a blood and guts match.
Yeah, I think Ortiz is getting shaved.
I think it's Jericho.
I think it's going to be Ortiz, and I'll tell you why, okay? Because Jericho's whole identity is his hair, and even though he could pull it off, he could get over with it, I just don't think that he's going to, okay? I think he's going to show up with a haircut, because they cut his hair already. I think he's going to show up with shorter hair, but they're not going to shave it. I think Ortiz is going to go over because it gives him more incentive for blood and guts.
So here's the.
But also, I also want to point out, I do not think Jericho is going to win clean.
So
that's why I think Ortiz is going to get his head shaved, because I don't think Jericho is going to win clean. I think some shit's going to happen. He's going to win, and then they're going to fucking shave his head in the thing, and they're going to block him all off, but he's going to get his head shaved, and that's how it's going to be.
So
that's my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm probably going to be wrong, but who knows?
The reason I think it's going to be Jericho. Hair versus hair matches, at least they I don't want to say they always fall to where the heel loses, but the best ones see the heel lose. Because the heel loses, now you got to get the haircut, and the heel wants to escape, and you catch him, and now you shave their head. With Jericho, he's going to want to escape. The guys are going to want to get him out. Then you got John Moxley or Daniel Bryan or whoever walking with baseball bats, and they shave Jericho's head. Now Jericho can make it funny because he can either come to he can come in a mask like CM Punk did, or I think it'd be funny if he kept wearing wigs. If he wore like obvious wigs over his head.
Wig.
Not even like a powdered wig, just like some big obvious fake hair wig.
A Revolutionary War wig.
Like no, like kind of like a hairband wig.
Like George Washington wig.
Yeah.
I'm just obsessed with thinking about Jericho and a Revolutionary.
He's gonna wear a wig.
Comes out in a bicorn.
No. He wears his little wizard hat.
I'm a wizard. I will burn you.
No, but he has the matches, and he's always worried about keeping it on his head, and then finally somebody take the hair off, and he's like, "No, I'm bald."
I mean, yeah, that's how you always do it. But I think.
But Ortiz also has that cool hairdo. He's got the cool big, he does his hair. You don't want to shave that.
I remember when he used to.
Jericho doesn't care because he's had all sorts of haircuts. Jericho can make anything work.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's just my opinion, man.
No, I know.
It's just my opinion, man.
I'm pleading my case.
All right, I plead the fifth.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. It's my opinion, man.
No, I'm not saying it. No, you're free to it.
I know. Anyway, that's the thing. I think Ortiz is going to go over or get shaved, but that's just because I think it would fit. I think it's a good incentive for Blood and Guts, because I don't think Jericho Appreciation Society is going to win Blood and Guts. They should. They absolutely shouldn't. They've. I don't know.
Okay,
when
they
Blood
won.
Guts is.
Wait, no. They won the Anarchy in the Arena.
I think
So
so.
yeah, then that would most likely be. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, he's been feuding with fucking Eddie Kingston forever.
Yeah.
If Eddie Kingston doesn't win at the end of it,
dumb.
I mean, it might as well be all for nothing.
Can we just? Yeah. I'm excited. Let's do the blood and guts match. But holy shit, I'm ready for this to be over.
There are
guys that I want to see Jericho face.
Speaking of feuds, I want over House of Black versus Triangle, Death Triangle.
Yeah, let's end that, please.
The Varsity Blondes didn't even really end.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny to see that Jericho Appreciation Society have to go up against the House of Black? That would be a good way to make them their whole gimmick doesn't have to be a heel or a face. They can just be themselves, and if they were like themselves against the Jericho Society, they wouldn't change anything, and they'd become face. People would cheer them.
Right. Well, that's exactly why I was saying. They sort of fucking cheer.
I know, but I'm saying
But that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying about Abaddon. Abaddon's not a heel. She's not a fucking heel at all. She is what she is.
I know. I was being a dick about that.
I know, because at the end of the day, it's like that's a day. Well, I was more or less agreeing with you. Like that's exactly what I was thinking
Right.
with Abaddon, is that they are very much a solidified. They are what they are, because AEW does that. They never really care too much about having straight faces, straight heels. Gimmicks are what they are. If they want to be faces, then they're faces. If they want to be heels, then they're heels. You know what I mean?
I'm not. That's a whole nother conversation another day, because I have my own opinions on that. That I kind of find that a bit annoying.
He-Man. That is what it is. It's my opinion, man. All right, it's what it is. All right, because there are people who are heels and there are people who are faces, and then there's people like the House of Black and Abaddon who are neither.
And then you know what there are? There are also people who are champions, and we're about to have a new champion, an All-Atlantic champion.
I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Yeah. Every country in the world except America.
Well, that's what American. Okay,
if you're American,
when I noticed the bracket, I gotta actually pull up the bracket.
If you're American, you can't fight for this title. But if you're Canadian, you very well can.
I don't know if you can't actually. I don't.
They just don't have any Americans in the tournament.
Yeah. Okay, so we had the first match. Buddy Matthews versus Pac.
Poor Buddy Matthews, but Pac.
I think I'm gonna have to go back and look. Okay. So Dynamite, we're gonna have Miro versus Ethan Page. Oh, that poor bastard.
Yeah, poor Ethan Page.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Miro won the whole thing.
I forgot that he was in that tournament. Yeah, I could see it. But here's the thing, though: who's going to beat Malachi Black? Because I know that he's in that tourney too.
He is gonna destroy. He's facing Penta, so yeah, he's gonna win that. Sorry, Penta.
Who's he after that?
Wait, who won? This is embarrassing asking. Who won Buddy Matthews and Pac?
Pac did.
Oh, Pac won.
Remember, because we thought you and I both.
That's right. Because at the end, we were prepared to see the House of Black discipline him.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, wait, please don't come out and discipline Buddy Matthews.
Would it be funny if like Julia Hart had like a belt and then just like presented it to Malachi Black? He just took it and started beating the shit out of you, motherfucker! You embarrassed the house.
Oh, even better yet but Malachi Black doesn't say anything. He just looks at him and then turns, and then Brody King comes over and takes off his own belt like the dad of the group, and then beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Then
Buddy Matthews, because he wants to be better than Wardlow, like no sells it.
Well, yeah, no, he would have to no sell it because again, it's discipline. That would be the gimmick. It would actually make sense for him to no sell all of them.
Yeah. But now that I'm looking at this and thinking about it, I'm 100% of the belief. Well, not 100%, but I believe strongly.
There's only one. I was going to say there's only one person who I would believe would beat Malachi Black, and it would be Miro.
Well,
it would be Miro.
Well, no. Well, hold on. That's not necessarily accurate, because one of the brackets is just New Japan logo. New Japan is going to send somebody.
True. They're having their own bracket.
They're going to have their own match. Then from there, It's going to go to the semifinals.
As I say, they have their
Yeah,
own.
so
they have
they're
their
going to
own
face
things.
whoever. Okay, Malachi Black is going to beat Penta.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah,
He's going to beat Penta, and then Malachi Black is most likely he's going to face whoever wins that match. I
Yeah.
imagine that person is going to beat Malachi Black.
And we all know Rusev. Excuse me, not Rusev. That's a slave name. No, Miro is going to beat Ethan Page. So it's going to be Ethan Page or Miro versus Pac.
Miro versus Pac in the semifinals, and then from there it'll be Miro versus. Well, I'm being so confident in my prediction, but
No, I'm serious.
it's kind of that
totally
obvious.
Miro,
it's going to be Miro versus whatever New Japan guy it is, and then which would make sense for Forbidden Door. It's going to be
crowned. That's true. That is true. But think about it though. It would also make sense. What if Miro's god is Malachi Black?
Shut up, Nathan.
Sorry. I just thought about that. I thought it would be cool.
That is not funny. No,
it's not funny. I thought it would be cool.
It's pretty funny actually.
It'd be a decent like rivalry storyline because he's been talking about it forever, and then
I mean,
the gimmicks conflict really nicely.
But that's not no, because I wouldn't want either one of them to really lose a storyline rivalry.
No. The thought of them doing that rivalry, I thought would be
cool. Down the line maybe,
right?
But
like if that with that gimmick, the Redeemer gimmick versus the House of Black, I thought that would be a cool
Miro. Miro's a guy I want to be world champion.
Yeah,
but Miro right now can't be because right now our current world champion hasn't even gotten his run started yet.
Yeah,
immediately put it up, which actually is kind of a good segue to move into this. Because the last topic we have is CM Punk and the current AEW world title situation. So I guess that's actually a good segue that I didn't intend it to be.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I want Miro to be world champion one day.
Yeah.
But right now, because CM Punk hasn't had his run and whoever wins, which I'm pretty sure is Jon Moxley, it's just going to have, they're on borrowed time because once CM Punk comes back, he's going to win it and then he gets his road run. So it'll be a long time before Miro ever gets a shot at the world title or gets to be a champion.
Yeah.
So looking at that whole bracket, Miro is the only guy I can see. He could be the first All-Atlantic champion. He could have a good run with that being God's favorite champion again, or this new sequel. Yeah, the Redeemer. So
I mean, he was always the Redeemer, but he's not. He's playing to kill his God now. He's
trying. I think
God of War.
I think he's gonna win it. And honestly, I would love it.
Yeah,
he's the guy that I think should do it.
The thing I'm wondering is if whether or not he's whether or not this is a legitimate like title defending every week, or is it like the Bret Hart champion or the Owen Hart championship? Where they just
no, it's going to be defended weekly. It's not going to be
okay, good. Can we also just talk about that real quick before we get into the CM Punk situation too?
I don't. Yeah, because
that's something that
I'm cool. Like I have no problem with the tournament. Cool, they got the belts, but I don't understand why. Are they going to defend those before next year? Can they only defend them at the winner of the tournament?
I know that's why exactly. Yeah, my question too.
Exactly. Is it like this belt that you defend, but it's like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? It only matters once a year.
Right, exactly.
And if that's the case, it's just weird to see them carry a belt.
Yeah. They're both the same belt, and it just looks weird.
Yeah.
I just was strange. It was a weird thing, and I'm going to be completely honest. Booking it the way they did, there was only one way that it could be booked, but still, it just felt very ego stroking for the power couple.
I mean, it would have made sense. It would have kind of made sense if you did like a mixed tag, like kind of like the mixed tag challenge that WWE did.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, the Owen Hart mixed tag challenge.
Yeah, tournament. It would have been a tournament. You do a tournament challenge the way that they did with the mixed tag challenge. Yeah, but either way, it just was like And now the aftermath of it, they're just like walking around with it, like, look at me, look how cool I am. And it's like, dude, that belt is nothing. The belt is nothing. You are holding nothing over your shoulder. All right.
It's not nothing, but yeah.
Dude, in my opinion, looking at that belt, I'm like, wow, that's almost like the diamond fucking ring, battle royal ring. That's literally the Andre the Giant battle royal that MJF has won every fucking year, because that's just his whole gimmick is I have a ring on my finger.
Yeah. Well, you won't win it this year.
We won't.
Actually, that'd be kind of funny. When is that? When do they usually do that?
Usually it was.
Wasn't it like in November or something like that, or October?
I can't remember. It was something that they would do.
Because I didn't. He was in a rivalry with somebody.
Oh yeah, no, it must be.
He faced Dante Martin, didn't he?
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, because they had the double count out thing,
Right.
where it was supposed to be him and Wardlow were going to be the last two, and then Dante Martin or somebody was. Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, yes, it was exactly that. But no, I think it is in the fall because it was something that they did early the first year.
Right.
Yeah, and it was also
it'd be kind of funny.
Not too early though, because Wardlow had debuted. Because I remember thinking to myself when Diamond Dallas Page came to present the ring that Wardlow was slightly shorter than Diamond Dallas Page, and I thought that was funny because it's like, dude, you're not a monster. You're shorter than DDP.
You know, I was thinking about something.
What?
Just a side prediction before we segue into our final topic.
We keep adding these,
Yeah.
But yes,
we
keep this elusive final topic that we keep talking
an
about.
eye out for the next time Tony Khan has a special announcement.
Yeah,
because what I think is going to happen is MJF hasn't gotten out of his contract, storyline wise.
Right.
So what I think is going to happen is Tony Khan's going to come out to give a special announcement, and MJF's going to rush him from the ring. Probably, I don't know whether attack him or what, but basically, like, I think he's going to like tackle him and just get on top of him and yell, "Fire me! Why won't you fucking fire me?" Maybe smack him around a bit, but just like,
wow,
make it
that's
look
a bold prediction. But yes,
wouldn't it make sense though?
That's why I'm like, but yes, I agree with you. It's a bold statement because I never would have thought of that. But yeah, that would be.
Well, because I keep thinking, like, where do you go from here? It's a work, but where do you go? He wasn't on TV this week, so clearly they're gonna. And I didn't even notice this till somebody said it. When they came back from commercial after they cut the promo, they don't mention him. Or I don't think they did they? Somebody said that. I actually, now that I'm now questioning it, because now I actually think I do remember. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's move to the last segment so we can wrap this shit up and put these people out of their misery.
They stopped listening hours ago, but it's okay.
They never started listening.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said hours ago.
Yeah. So what we're gonna move into CM Punk. CM Punk won the AEW title. He got injured. And it's being said he has a broken foot.
He looked like he was walking fine for someone with a broken foot.
Actually, if you go and look at the footage of him walking to the ring during the MJF promo, or at the end of the MJF promo, he actually was limping.
Oh.
No, he definitely broke his foot. But what happened? So now what they went ahead and did is they had the Battle Royal at the beginning of the show, and Kyle O'Reilly won. Kyle O'Reilly then faced Jon Moxley to lose.
Fed to Jon Moxley.
And Jon Moxley will now go on to face, I don't even know if they decided who the New Japan guy was yet.
Pretty sure they're doing it the same way that they decided here.
Who is it that CM Punk had to have
was
going to have his match with?
I think he is going to fight Tanahashi.
Is it Tanahashi's fighting?
I believe it was Tanahashi.
Boy, I swear to God.
Boy golly.
Thank God nobody listens to this podcast because they keep listening to me having to Google.
Hey, dude, you can make it a segment. I told Weston he needs to make like a little animation thing. So let's ask.
Yep. Tanahashi wins interim AEW World Title Eliminator at NJ New Japan Dominion. All right, so
yes.
All right.
Jon Moxley versus Tanahashi, which is probably going to be a pretty good match.
Okay. Here is where things get tricky, in my opinion.
Tricky Dicky.
So, CM Punk, no matter what they do, CM Punk, when he comes back, which I imagine is going to be all out, because it's going to be in Chicago. When he comes back, I think the world title unification match is going to take the undisputed AEW world title match. It's going to be at All Out in Chicago.
Yeah.
And CM Punk is going to win that match and have his actual run. Because the fact that Tony Khan did not strip it off him tells me, no, we want you to have the run. We'll make up whatever we got to do for lost time. But when you come back, you are our world champion.
Yeah. And that's good because
It's not going to be that long.
No, and I swear to God, I just want to point this out too. All right, because they said unification match. I swear to God, if he comes out with 2 fucking titles every fucking time he comes out, I'm a fucking.
I think what's just gonna what should happen, since they're insisting on the interim title, is just have him come out with the one, but now he's the undisputed AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
That's fine. Give him the title, but just give him one. Call him that, undisputed, whatever. But for fuck's sake, I'm sick of the double belts that are the same belt. All right, you're not fucking the WWE Unified Tag Champions. Okay, you look stupid when you have. Dude, when Sammy Guevara came out with 2 of the same belts, like, I got this one at the gift shop. It's
that's because AEW dropped fucking a shitload of money to have a second belt made, and they weren't about to just fucking let that be a 2-week thing.
Yeah, it's like, dude, when you do that,
we only had one time. Right? That match was the only time we saw both titles. That match with him and Cody. And they were like, well, we have 2 titles, so we're not gonna just like waste all this money and not have it be on TV for at least a month. But anyway,
actually, no, that's not true at all, dude. They had the 2 titles for the rest of that dog shit clusterfuck segment because when Scorpio Sky won it, he gave the fucking replica belt to Dan Lambert.
That's right.
They had the double belts until the belt.
No. I'm saying when he was awarded the interim title, it was just the TNT title. Then he defended it once or twice, and it was just the TNT title. Cody Rhodes came out, and he had the one TNT title. You never saw them together until the match where Cody and Sammy had the ladder match that unified them.
Right.
You didn't see him before that, and that was my point. Is they spent money to make a second title, so to them,
I know, and they made it a fucking 8-month-long clusterfuck. It probably wasn't that long, but still, it was a clusterfuck, and it was annoying. And I swear to God, if they do that with the world title,
they won't.
Dude,
I don't think they will.
Fuck's sake.
But here's
get the real world title and have a piece of paper taped on it that says interim. It's IOU.
So
Let it be a contract hung above the ring that just says IOU champion.
So what I think is going to happen. Okay, there's what I think is going to happen. And then there's what I want to happen, which are not the same things. What I think is going to happen is they're going to just take the easy way out. Let Jon Moxley win it. Moxley's been world champion. The unfortunate thing is whoever you put that title on is only going to have a short run and hand it over to Punk. You might as well let it be a guy who's held it, who people can't get mad at. They can't feel AEW fucked him over. It doesn't, he knows how to be champion. It's the easy route.
Yeah.
But what I want to happen, I want Tanahashi to win it. Because Tanahashi versus CM Punk is the dream match we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
If Tanahashi wins it, he can do what Kenny Omega did to Impact and all these others. He can be the champion, comes on to AEW, he can be the biggest fucking heel. Let him disrespect AEW. Let him fucking be the biggest heel in AEW. He disrespects the title, he disrespects the fans. New Japan's better than AEW. Fuck you. And then CM Punk, once he's healed, comes out as the biggest fucking babyface because he's not only coming out to win his title back that he never even got to defend, let alone lose.
Right.
He not only defends it, he is fighting for the respect of AEW.
Yeah.
That is why he will come out in his hometown against Tanahashi in a dream match to defend AEW.
Yeah, you know what, Cody, I'm going to be real with you. I am now, and you saying that to me makes me feel, in my heart of hearts, I honestly think that's probably what's going to happen.
I hope it is.
I mean, because honestly, that makes the most sense. Because Jon Moxley becoming interim champion is just like, in my mind, when you look at it at face value, literally all I see is, okay, everything that we did at the beginning of that dog shit clusterfuck rivalry, we're just going to insert here. It's literally a copy and paste. And it's like, if you want to surprise me, all right, you want me to be shocked like when Wardlow no-selled that fucking thing, when he was a Giga Chad and just took that, was like, not much, ain't nothing but a thing. Instead of being fucking pussy-ass Cody Rhodes, falling and I can't get up. He needed Life Alert on his ass, all right? Wardlow took that like a man, all right? Okay? that you want that shock value from me, you let Tanahashi win. Because that's exactly what we need right now.
Well,
That's
to
the
me,
best way to sell this.
Look,
That's the best way to book this.
Neither option is bad because if it is Moxley is gonna would have a good run. Yeah, he'd have a good run.
We love John Moxley.
But Tanahashi, dude, if you let Tanahashi win it and let him be champion until All Out, which is in September, so you're only it's only 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, but also let's be real.
But hold on, wait, it's only 3 months. What you're doing is you're making chicken salad out of chicken shit. You took a shitty situation that was dumped on you. It's nobody's fault. Shit fucking happens. But you took that shitty moment and you made it something great, something that'll be money.
Money. Absolutely. But I also think the Tanahashi thing makes the most sense because look at Moxley's situation where he's at right now. He's not a singles competitor right now. He's not.
No.
He's not. Despite what, he comes out by himself. Cool. All right. So did Kenny and Hangman, and they were champions. All right. In my opinion, when it comes to Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley and Bryan Danielson are the tag team. And I believe that because at the end of the day, Wheeler Yuta doesn't need to be in a tag team anymore. They're training him to be the singles competitor, the next best thing, the next best thing. That's what they're training him to be in the kayfabe of what the Blackpool Combat Club started as. All right. So in my opinion, Jon Moxley doesn't need to be champion. He doesn't need that right now because he needs to continue with what he's doing. If you take him away from that so that he can do a singles world championship run, it kind of diminishes the rest of the club.
I don't think they would take him away from it if they.
No, they wouldn't. But it would diminish the rest of the club. He's not the singles guy. Wheeler Yuta is. That's the point I'm trying to make. Either that or they're all singles.
Well, hold on, because okay, one, I've heard Danielson's hurt, but I didn't really read in on that.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. No, one of the whatever match it was, he got his that sweet ramp that goes straight to the ring that you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his foot caught in between the apron and the ramp.
Ooh.
And it was bad. Like caught bad and was like couldn't
was
get
that
out.
That
was at Dynamite a couple weeks ago. The one that they say that he got injured at. I believe that's what it was. I saw again on Botchamania.
So
I think it might have been Double or Nothing.
I was going to say, I thought it was Double or Nothing.
I think he got hurt then. He hurt his foot in that because, dude, it was rugged. His boot was caught. It was wedged between the two. I don't know how it got there, but it was wedged, and his ankle was bent. I mean, dude, it was bent bad, and because he was pulling on it, he couldn't get it out, and they couldn't move him because of the way that he was. It was this weird thing where nobody, and they had refs and security and stuff. They were just trying to pull his fucking foot out, and I don't know how they did. I didn't see the ending of it. They cut away from it, but his foot was fucking stuck in there. So I think he is injured. But
Danielson, they're working on kind of transitioning. I think they're gonna this Blood and Guts match will be the end of the Kingston Jericho feud because I think it's gonna move into Kingston versus Danielson, which is what they're hinting at.
Right.
I think Danielson will be involved with that, but Moxley will need something to do. So
right, but also you have to remember Eddie Kingston has numbers. 2. It's a trios. They need Moxley.
Well, then Moxley would make it it would become a world title thing. I don't know. If
Moxley has the world title, who's he feuding with? Kingston, who's feuding with Bryan Danielson? Again, it would make the most sense for Tanahashi to win.
Well, they would. That's even if they do the trios thing. Wheeler Yuta has barely been there. He wasn't even there for the Anarchy in the Arena match.
Because they didn't need the third. They had Ortiz and Santana.
I know, but
because at the end of the day, this is Eddie Kingston versus Jericho. It was their fight. Blackpool Combat Club just got involved.
Either way,
because they needed the backup.
I think
Wheeler Yuta was not needed.
I think Moxley is the safe route, but
no, I think you should own it. I'm gonna own it. I think Tanahashi should win. I think.
That's what I said that's what I want to happen.
Yeah, I don't even think it's just a want. I think that's what is gonna.
But I don't think.
I don't see them taking
Again,
the same step with this.
I can't, again, it depends on how you ask me the question. If you ask me what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be Jon Moxley. What do I want to happen? I want it to be Tanahashi, but
I think it's going to be Tanahashi.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, Tony Khan is a risk taker. Right, he's taking a big risk with naming a pay-per-view Forbidden Door. All right, he's taking a big risk with a lot of this shit, and again, he's making a shit situation something better. I think this is the move, especially considering the whole, looking at the big, not just looking at the situation, looking at the big picture. Everything that's going on in the company right now, all of the fucking rivalries, everything that's happening, I don't think you should pull Jon Moxley away from what he's doing. I think that Tanahashi winning and doing the heel work or whatever, it looks good because at the end of the day, it shows that Tony Khan, and it may even be an ego stroke too when you look at it, it shows that Tony Khan is getting his getting what's due for him for what he did to Impact for like basically a year.
right.
You know what I mean? It looks good for the company for him to do this because he did it to another company he did it to 3 companies and is still doing it for AAA for multiple years. All right, and he's giving them exposure on his show. All right, now he should let New Japan, who is a bigger company than him, advertise his title. Because why not? At the end of the day, it looks good for him. It looks good for him. It looks good on him to do it. We had talked about this before the podcast. It looks good for Tony Khan as a business decision. It's money. And at the end of the day, Tony Khan, like Vince, like any other wrestling promotion, they're about money and views and ratings. And that shit will get them views. That's a good collab move because it provides and plants the seeds for other collaborations down the line. This is not the first time, also, by the way, this is not the first time that fucking New Japan members of New Japan have come to AEW. All right. Remember that when AEW started and for multiple years afterwards, there were multiple AEW United States champions in New Japan. They were signed to AEW and they defended the belt in AEW, but it was a New Japan belt and they would defend it against New Japan talent. And that happened.
Yeah, I know.
Even though they didn't have the brand partnership thing executively like they did with Ring of Honor and Impact and another one, but I don't remember who it was.
We know who Tony Khan should do a partnership with?
Triple H.
Us.
Us.
Because you know what, guys? We are working. We are trying each and every week. We're not the greatest at it, but we don't expect to be the greatest at it. We're just trying. And what's happening is we want to get better, and we're going to try to keep getting better. Every fucking week, we're changing. This format has been different. If anybody, nobody's listening to us, but if you had listened to us, you would realize this week was kind of different, and I'm liking it, and we're getting better, and we're going to keep getting better. Because like Weston says every week, there's no better time to be a wrestling fan.
No better time to be a wrestling fan.
Well, guys, that is it for us this week. Please stay beautiful.
Yes.
And watch Dynamite. The last thing I got to say, my final thing I'll say is Jeff Hardy, man, get better. Yeah. We love you. We don't want to see this, man.
No.
I don't know what demons you're going through, but I hope you overcome them. You're a good guy from everything that I've been heard. Yeah. Don't know him personally, but
anyway. You know what? If I'm going to get some final thoughts, I agree with you, Cody. Jeff Hardy, man, get over what you're doing and fuck Charlotte Flair.
Not physically.
No, that's from me. That has nothing to do with the Jeff Hardy. Fuck Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I just had to
that's Andrade's thing. We don't look. Matt and Edge had the whole cheating thing. We don't need Andrade and Jeff to reenact.
I wasn't talking to Jeff when I said that. That was the thing. I was just saying. And my last final thought.
Yeah, but you said it in the same sentence.
I did. It did sound weird. It sounded better in my head. Yeah. But at the end of the day, my final thoughts are fuck Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, that's it for us here at the House of Marks podcast.
It's like the Iron Sheik on Twitter.
Yeah.
Fuck
Hulk Hogan. Put you in the camel clutch and fuck you in the ass.
No, just fuck. Dude, every like 2 days, I think I get it. It's not really that much, but dude, he does do an annual, like at least a monthly, where he'll tweet "fuck Hulk Hogan."
Yeah,
he does it all the time, and it's hilarious. So that's me with this podcast. It's just I have to get there, at least in there once. Yeah. Fuck Charlotte Flair. because I don't, and it's not her fault again. It's Vince McMahon's fault.
Well, guys, y'all stay beautiful. Have a good one. This is us here at the House Mark Podcast signing off.
Signing off.